Hello.
Oh, hello there. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, good, thanks. Hot, but good. How about you?
Hot. Yeah, melting as well, 31
Yeah.
degrees. But happy to be here for Azure Unpacked episode 5.
Yeah. The
The
band's
band's
back
back.
together.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Yeah.
back. We're back. So yeah, we're all melting here. Well, I'm in the Netherlands, so I think we got the heat wave that you just had a couple of days
Mhm.
ago. Got the fan on here, so hopefully not too much
Same.
noise.
Yeah, I think the noise cancelling is doing quite a good job so far, which is good.
It's well, AI just keeps getting better and better, right?
Oh
The noise
yes,
cancelling, yeah.
and dangerouser and dangerouser. If we talk
Yeah,
about Mythos, but yeah,
that too. Yeah, I read that they were about to release one of those models, right?
yeah, which is clever, dangerous. Still not sure about it, but yeah.
Well, and we already kind of see like an influx of new exploits and vulnerabilities, which are even admittedly by the creators AI enhanced,
Mhm.
if you will. They used AI to find those exploits, find and write those exploits. Copy fill being a big one of them.
Oh yes, that was a fun
Yeah.
one for us. Every AKS cluster is technically affected with that, which was fun. Luckily, the AKS team did some nice communication around it, and we managed to assist our customers where needed, which was good.
Yeah, and it was quite the exploit, wasn't it? It's
Yeah.
quite easy as well, just a one liner. But yeah, so if you haven't heard of copy fail, the vulnerability and the exploit, and you are responsible for managing a number of Linux machines, you probably should not be watching us right now, but start patching your machines.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think what was the website? Copyfail. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just
Was
remember.
it copy.fail? That's the website.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's
Creative
super easy, and this is the thing with the AI and all these vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities have been around for a long time. No one's known about them, and now it's like all crawling out from the woodwork, out from underneath the rocks. Wasn't there like one recently that was like 13, 14 years old found or something like that? And it's been there.
That was with Mythos. They did.
Yes.
Yeah. That was. I'm just googling on the go. Mythos.
Nice.
Anthropic.
But for the people who don't know what Mythos is, it's basically a large language model designed to find vulnerabilities in code and systems.
Yeah.
It was Anthropic, wasn't it, who built this one? Claude.
Yes. They built this, and then I'm just gonna add banners. Here we
nice.
Go. So it's called.
Banners are good.
Yeah. So they have a model called Mythos, which is focused on finding vulnerabilities and then potentially exploiting them. And they were successful. Or at least their blog post states that they found a lot of different exploits, and one of them being an exploit that was like 13 or 14 years old. I think in FreeBSD in the kernel. It was that old. They found that exploit and were able to exploit it, and then they did the calculations. And if you read the whole research, then just finding that one, obviously they spent millions doing all the research on compute, but if you do the calculations and the chargebacks, it would have cost them about $50 to find and exploit that vulnerability.
Wow.
So they were impressed by their own model and started Project Glasswing, which now is, I think Microsoft's a part of that, NVIDIA, Linux Foundation, JP Morgan, well, a whole bunch of
the big ones, the big companies, which is
the big ones. But yeah, and I read that they were going to release one of those models pretty soon to the public. And
nice.
Then we can see, was it a hype or not?
Yeah. Now, like, because I build my own open source software like KubeBuddy and stuff like that to help scan your AKS clusters. To me, as a open source maintainer, in quotes, this could potentially like kill projects quite a lot because of all these vulnerabilities are coming up. If it's just a one person, small group of people maintaining these projects, which we see a lot of in the CNCF as well, it's going to be a lot of overhead to look after all of this stuff. Where do you patch? Where do you not patch? all these pull requests are going to come in from people saying, oh, your code's got this vulnerability and it should be a CVE and stuff. And it's just like, what do we do?
Well, and then the question is, if that's the case, let's say that happens, that's going to result in a lot of work or a lot of panic or both.
Yep.
But I also read a post on, well, I wouldn't say it's the real news, on the Register. I like reading the Register.
There was very funny.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, they've got a funny storyline as well, which I used to read when I was younger. But there was an article about Mythos, the model, where the main maintainer from the curl CURL project, which is open source, was invited to a beta test, I think, and they only found like 2 or 3 vulnerabilities, but they were like low to medium. And he said, well, they expected more of it. So the question, so he was publicly challenging: is the project Glasswing, is it a hype or is it like a real thing? Because I haven't seen it work on my repository. So, I'm kind of interested to see what happens when they release that model.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy and we don't lose lots of awesome software that's created by these smaller teams, because they can now no longer handle the pull requests or the security vulnerabilities, because that would just be such a shame. Because some amazing people out there building amazing things, and even more so now we have AI as well.
Well, yes. And then building with AI is one thing, and then maybe they need to fix vulnerabilities with AI, because we already see it with content with M365 Copilot. At some point, there's more content generated than you can possibly read in a week. So it's so the same might happen with vulnerabilities. So like GitHub issues being created, pull requests being created, just too much to maintain, like you said. That's the thing.
Yeah, and now in the world of agentic AI, maybe we can just say to the agents, go fix this. But then you still need that human to actually check and approve and actually ensure the AI agents haven't created things up, haven't misunderstood, and create a new security vulnerability potentially afterwards as well. Because, I see that a lot. Like the AI using older packages or all the GitHub
old APIs.
Because that's what they're built on, they're trained on. MCP comes in and helps with that, because you can go off and read the latest documentation, but you have to sometimes explicitly say, go and check the MCP server for the latest information, or create skill files to automatically do that.
Skill
but
files.
Then that costs a lot of money in the tokens.
And that's an interesting little bridge to the next topic. What we've seen in the past with AI is we had LLMs, we did content generation, we just did chat, we talked to it, and then we burned even more tokens by saying thank you and how are you and could you please, and then all that.
Even people say adding commas and put the grammar in that.
Exactly.
Cost.
So then it was just prompt results, which we have a whole subscription model. We pay. I've got a ChatGPT subscription that I use for personal things. I pay a fixed price per month, and I never really get to the limits when I do my personal
I've
stuff.
hit the limit on mine a few times, but it then a couple of hours later unblocks itself, and then it's fine again. In some of my open source tools, I use the APIs to enhance release notes in like my KubeBuddy Radar product. And I've never hit the thresholds with that, so that's quite good.
I think in development you would probably hit it faster. What I use ChatGPT for is like automation for personal life, calendar management, booking restaurants, that kind of stuff. So I never really run into the limits. But then we got to, so we pay a fixed amount per month and you can go nuts. Then they released the concept of AI agents, autonomous agents working in the background. Let's say I give it a task on Friday afternoon. I'm going to enjoy my weekend, and on Monday morning I come back and I expect the work to be finished, whether that's extensive deployment using infrastructure as code, or I don't know, a website, something. I had to build something. So it goes off and does things and talks to other agents and then creates their own agents.
Spins off sub-agents
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well, what's it now? They call it squads of agents and stuff like that. I've seen.
Yeah, you got
floating around.
GitHub squads, and then I think with Anthropic and Cloud, you got something else.
Yeah.
Either way, you have like squads, and so you
Mm-hmm.
literally with GitHub squads, I can tell it, hey, look, I'm building a website. Hire me a team, and it will hire it will create an architect, an agent as an architect. It will create a consultant. It will create a scrum master because we work agile and DevOps, and it does and it even does the rituals and does the meetings and it does all of that. So you can literally sit back, watch a development team, a PM, product owner work.
Mm-hmm.
Even, I mean, you could go as far as deploy to Azure and gather feedback and do all of that. Maybe include some SRE agent. I don't know. You can go above and beyond. But those subscription models were never meant for that, because it was just prompt result, and then you ran
sometimes reprompt result, because it never always worked first time.
No, that's true. That's true. But then, now you've got stuff running in the background, long running tasks.
Yeah.
And everyone
thought autopilot
and
all that stuff now as well, where it can just doesn't have to keep asking you for permissions and can just go off and do whatever it wants.
So that's the interesting, well, that's the interesting thing, because now we got used to this. So we're kind of depending on AI for productivity already. I see it with a lot of developers and a lot of ops people as well. And debugging, content creation. I mean, we are kind of depending on AI for our productivity for a large part.
Yeah.
And it speeds up work, definitely. Now, everyone with those agents, maybe it's not, it's expensive even for companies like Anthropic and GitHub. So they are moving to a usage-based model for premium requests. So instead of having a fixed price, I'm going to pay for what I use. So if I let an agent run for hours, I'm going to pay for that runtime.
Yep.
Which, and we did the calculations at Intercept, means that the Copilot, so the GitHub Copilot bill based on our current usage, will multiply by 4 as of next month, because as of June,
as bad as I was expecting, to be honest, because online you see people go 10x, 15x and stuff on their spends.
Yeah.
So we have it down not too bad, I think. We understand how to prompt smartly, utilize the correct tools at the right time and stuff like that.
Use the
keep that context, keep that context clear.
Well, and that's the thing. Right now, we're all depending on AI. They changed the model, the billing model, and now we're going to pay more. And for some companies, if you're not that efficient in prompting, and we just had context, but not letting the context window grow too big, people do that as well, right? They just keep typing and then maybe just start a new chat.
Yep.
So,
or just compact the context. There's a button in VS Code that lets you do it now. Sometimes it even automatically does it, but you should be on top of that yourself and do it more often.
So those best practices, if you don't have them, then yes, I can imagine your bill will multiply tenfold. And then the question is, how much is your efficiency and productivity worth? How much are you willing to pay for it?
Yeah.
But also, what will happen if you don't? Because now we're all depending on it now. What if 15 days into the month you run into your budget limits?
Yeah, well, yeah. Then you can't work, or you get down to GPT 4.1, and then it can't do anything. I found that out the hard way, so I got some more spend, and it was all fine. But I've noticed a lot online, because Twitter, X, whatever we call it now, a lot of people used to make the joke, I'm only going to hire people who spend the most tokens, and because they're doing the most work. Whereas now, actually, we want to hire the people who have the same output as these heavy token users, but are more efficient and use less tokens. And that's what the kind of metrics we need to start monitoring, maybe managing and looking for, which I think GitHub created a tool to help with those metrics, if I remember right.
I think, yes, there is, I'm going to find a link here. So here you've got the, you can already see some insights in the in GitHub Copilot itself, but then you can also deploy the metrics viewer, which you can connect to your GitHub Enterprise or GitHub organization. And you can even deploy this with a PostgreSQL database, so you can keep a history, you can track your adoption, etc. And what it will show you is which models are used most, which users are doing most, which users do which language, so do they do Bicep or .NET, etc. and which model do they use. So what you would see is, hey, there's in the old days, in the subscription model, you would say, hey, I want to have the best possible response, and I don't care how much tokens I use.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do Cloud Opus 4.7, meant for deep research, but I create a bicep parameter file.
Wow.
But hey, I don't care. I got a subscription model.
Yeah.
But
it's free.
When you pay for the usage, you don't want this to happen. You want to stop using those expensive models. You want to identify which task are you going to do and which model will you use for that task. So that means in let's say I did some analysis of GitHub usage and going through JSON, doing some research, and then what I did, I wanted to create a Python file to do my analysis. But first I did it with Copilot, and then I had Copilot write a script so it can be a recurring thing and deterministic.
Because that's something that we should come back onto that point in a bit once you finish with this, for sure.
Right. Well, so what I did first was I had Cloud Opus 4.7, did the complex research through the data and findings. It came back with a nice report. Then I said, write me a Python file so I can have this recurring and deterministic, and I can have a snapshot every day. But before I hit enter on that prompt, I changed the model to something cheap, because I don't need Cloud Opus 4.7 to write a pretty simple Python script that just analyzes some JSON.
Yep.
So I think that's the way you need to think about this.
Yeah, I love that, because you've sort of hit the nail on the head here. I see personally a lot of people using the agentic workflows in GitHub, or using AI workflows and AI prompts to do repeatable tasks that should be a script. You should be using the AI to write that script to give you that output, that deterministic output every time, rather than let the AI run each time and it goes and does something totally different, and then your whole automation flow is broken. I've seen it with things like keeping your bicep AVM modules up to date. There's tools like Renovate bot that can do all of that for you as a GitHub action, but because agentic workflows came out, I see people started building these agentic workflows to do that for you when it's already done in a tool already. Yes, it's nice that you can build it with agentic workflows and AI, but when you're writing the bicep anyway and you're using AI, it doesn't always use the latest modules, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it uses the MCP, sometimes it doesn't. So you need to make sure you are using the AI for the right purpose. Like in your case, you use the AI to write a script, a Python script that will give you that deterministic output every time, rather than just sending the data to the AI every time and then hoping that it's going to give you the same results, because it doesn't always.
Exactly. And there's another way to be efficient.
Ooh.
Have you heard of Caveman AI or Caveman prompting?
Yes. I'm not sure how I feel about this, because the whole point of the AI originally, as we said, was to have conversations with it.
Yes,
natural language.
I think like ChatGPT and the chat feature, yes, but in agents, would you? If you're telling
agents talking to each other.
Yeah,
now it's trained on natural language. So if you then tell the agents to communicate to each other in caveman language, things could get lost in translation here. Potentially not, potentially yes. Depends if they're trained on it. You could always try and train your own LLM, but why would you want to do that? Because it's a lot of work and effort, unless you really have a super compliance system. Then so I'm not sold on it myself, but I get the idea behind it, but I just think it could potentially cause more issues in the long run myself.
It's so they did find, so what it is for the people listening is just an efficient way to write prompts. So instead of telling it, I am writing .NET code for a website, blah, blah, you're going to be explicit, like use method overloading, do this, do that. So they did measure 60% less token usage. But then the question, and this is the question, how much flexibility and creativity are you giving away? So are you not? So that's, I get what you're saying. And then it would be better to go the approach that you said, like which MCP server, just let it think and just be selective in what you provide it with access, and then you keep the creativity, but you can still, limit it. So I would say the approach you just described is probably the way you want to go to remain creative. The Caveman one, yes, I find the research very interesting, but I also don't find it very appealing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's that.
Maybe we'll all start talking to each other with caveman talk again, and we'll regress as a human race thanks to AI. I don't know.
As long as we don't start talking to each other like cavemans.
Yeah. We'll just grunt to each other and let the AI talk for us. But yeah, it would be
fun times. But I think some organizations are really going to hit the limits of their budgets because they're not efficient in their
wasn't it Uber hit their yearly budget in the first quarter or something as well?
Did they?
Yeah, I'm sure I read something like that online, which is crazy.
That's a lot.
So yeah, you want to definitely set your limits, your governance down now before the big switch over, and educate your staff.
Yeah, and it's also clever play by these AI companies, right? Like, other than they're saying, yes, we cannot afford it, we need to go to a different model because we never meant for these agents to be running like this, autonomous in the background, long running. On the other end is we've all become dependent. They can just do this.
Yeah,
they can just do this.
Yeah, a lot of people would be screwed without AI now to assist them. They'd feel, like me personally, I would not feel as effective as I can be, as engineering things as quick as I can be, getting my MVP products out there quickly thanks to AI. Whereas before, it could take me a couple of weeks or so. Now I'm doing it in half a day instead, which is an amazing feeling. It's like an addiction in a way to AI, which is not good.
It's not good.
I'm saying out loud. Maybe I need to go some rehab.
I was thinking, I was just doing a quick Google. I was reading an article the other day that some companies were already investing and finding ways to build a good workstation for around 4 to 5K, which is a lot of money, which you can just like a desktop PC focused on running AI models.
Yep.
That could be like the fixed price way to do this, right? You give your employees like a big computer.
I have been looking into that for myself because I'm so addicted to it. But because of the cost of RAM and everything, it's a lot of money just to run it independently when I can still get away with my ChatGPT subscription for $20 a month or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but for the big organizations, I think
would be an
maybe
option.
They even need, then you can use Azure AI Foundry locally as well now. You could use Llama locally. There's so many cool ones out there. And then you're not also just tied to the big large language models, because you can use other things like is it Qwen? I think that's how you say it. Locally, which is a smaller model.
And Llama, all of them.
It gives you so much flexibility then, because you don't have to worry about your data going off to these third parties. Even GitHub third party Microsoft, you can worry about it's locally on my machine. I can tell it anything, can say anything, and it's fine. So you can probably do a lot more, but then you need to look at centralizing the deployment of new models to your employees. And
I have to say that a couple of years ago, I bought a gaming rig, like a good gaming computer with lots of memory, good CPU, GeForce, RTX, all that stuff. So
nice.
I can already get away with running quite some LLMs locally. But
nice.
Though I'm not doing it. I've got enough on my ChatGPT subscription currently for personal stuff.
But, maybe it's something to play with and do some blogging about or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then before we end, because we got a couple of minutes left.
Yes.
Microsoft Build coming up.
Yeah, that's next month in San Francisco or online.
Isn't that like in a week's time? Isn't it? next week.
It's like, is it the 4th to 5th, something like that? I can't remember. Of June. Was it the 1st and 2nd?
The 2nd to the 3rd. So next week.
Yeah. There we go.
2 days.
Every day except for the ones I said. Yeah, only 2 days. So these poor people flying all the way from around the world to San Francisco for 2-day conference. Seems a lot for what it is.
I did. I looked at the session catalog because I don't want to bash builds because I love these things and there's good sessions, but and there are some very promising sessions also about responsible AI, which I think we should look into way more as a community as well, because we're just connecting agents to agents and having stuff happen. But let's be careful here and there. So first, I did a search for Copilot in the session catalog.
I bet that was quite high.
29% of the sessions have the word Copilot or in the session title or abstract. Then I did a search for quote AI quote, like really AI.
Yep.
76.7. So let's say 77%, rounded up. 77% of the sessions contain the letters AI in quotes. And I went through it and every title, AI. So
basically what you're saying is Microsoft is all in on AI at the moment.
Yes, but then if someone's listening now and hadn't figured that out, then read the news. It's the whole world is into AI. But yes, so we already saw this like 2 years ago at Ignite. It was Copilot. That's when I think 2 years ago when we were there. It was like
in Chicago.
In Chicago, the birth of agents, if you will, of agentic AI. Because first we had Copilot, Chat, etc., and then agentic AI is going to be the future. And we see that we're going to pay for agentic AI now. But definitely worth checking out. A lot of sessions are recorded as well. So if you're not looking into flying to San Francisco, you can watch the sessions online.
I even noticed there were some labs which were online as well as in person. Yeah, and usually the labs are only ever in person. So it's good to see that they're deviating and actually trying to attract the online audience better this year, which is nice.
Do some live searching here.
Yeah, I think there was a Kubernetes lab I see.
Can you just search for
which is nice.
Session type lab.
Yeah. And then
there's a lot of labs. Actually,
was it a Kaito session? I can't remember now. I looked last week. I should have looked before this core. Session. But yeah.
Oh, so what I can do? You can do the place. Let's see. So lab, and then it says in San Francisco. Can I not show?
It should be able to filter by remote, but yeah, I'm sure. Unless they've changed it since last week, but I'm sure they haven't.
I'm fighting with the filters.
Totally mistaken. But it's good to see that they have a lot of these sessions online for you to watch live, recorded after the fact. So if you're not registered already, go Google Microsoft Build and register for it next week. Lots of AI sessions, some Kubernetes sessions.
I found a good one.
Oh, have you?
Run AI SREs without burning token budgets.
Oh, no, that's a good one to put.
Nathan from Robusta.
Ah, nice. That's really cool. We do love that product. Homes GPT. Brilliant product. Technically, it's now part of the CNCF, but technically it was just for AKS, Kubernetes, and stuff like that. But because you're going to attach any of your systems to it, you can actually use it to do a lot more. He's shown demos where he can do cost calculations, like FinOpsy kind of stuff, through it as well, which is quite impressive because obviously it can talk to other MCP servers and do whatever you need, which is nice. And it works quite well. So well, in fact, that the AKS team are actually using it as part of their agentic CLI tool, which is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, so if you're interested, there's I think 1/3 of the sessions, in calculating on top of my head, 1/3 of the sessions is online, maybe 25%. And the ones we just mentioned, the agents, token usage, etc., is also online. So definitely worth checking that out.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think with that, we're at the end.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks everyone for watching live and on catch up on YouTube and that. It's awesome to be back finally presenting this with you. I do enjoy it, and I look forward to the next one.
Me too. Look forward to the next one. Everyone, thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.